Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today, keep pushing up, towards 15,000 this season. Let's go with Skeleton Barrel, and I'm gonna have a lot to play towards the end here. He's gonna miss the Goblin Cage there, but it looks like this could be recruits with the Flying Machine, Rohogs, that kind of deck. If that's the case, our Executioner is gonna be great. It doesn't look like that's going to be the deck exactly. It still could be that. I'm going to arrows down that Firecracker. Obviously would love King Tower activation, but we'll see what else he's got here. Okay, I think most of the recruits on that side is going to get taken care of for the most part. So I'm going to send the Ram Rider on this side here. He doesn't have his cage, so that's going to work out pretty well for us. We're going to damage down that Mega Minion as well, so we're not even going to have to respond to that for the most part. And we get another hit off too, so really, really nice. He's got the Night Witch, so I'm kind of curious what he's got. There's my answer. It's going to be Golem. So in that case, I'm going to go Mini P.E.K.K.A here. I'm going to go with the E-Spirit, and that should be okay. I'm going to arrows this down as well. That should clean up the Mother Witch too, and really solid stuff. We don't have a building or anything like that, so that's just one of those things where you're going to have to be okay taking some damage and kind of move on. So we're going to get the Skeleton Barrel to the tower, forcing out a Barb Barrel. Came out a little bit far back. Would have been nice if we, maybe even got a few skeleton hits, but I can't complain there. Obviously, sending the Ram Rider here is just going to be, just straight towards a Goblin Cage, but we're going to go for the recruits here in the back. I feel totally fine on defense here. We have the Evil Executioner. We have a Mini P.E.K.K.A, of course. The question is whether he's got something like Lightning, which could be interesting. Let's go with the Executioner here. I'm going to go Ram Rider now. That should be an amazing lineup. E-Spirit here to kind of deal with the skeletons. And we're going to go for something like the arrows here just to kind of free that up. Hopefully, maybe get a hit off. We don't get a hit off, but we should be okay, I think. Yeah, that Firecracker obviously is going to be a absolute nuisance for us. Let's go Evil Skeleton Barrel. We're obviously going to go for the Executioner here. That should give us King Tower. And yeah, look at that. We're getting a decent amount of damage on that left side thanks to those skeletons. Really, really nice stuff. And we're actually going to take tower. So let's go with the E-Spirit here. That should be enough to kind of deal with that Night Witch. Let's go Ram Rider. I figured, he probably had something like Lightning. They were just waiting to drop on our Executioner, but really, really solid stuff. Mini P.E.K.K.A there. That Golem's not going anywhere with the Snare of the Ram Rider. Good game, well played. Let's get on to it. All right, making our way up here. So our opponent's got the Dagger Duchess. I don't particularly need to break into 15,000 this season to get ranked unlocked for next season, but I kind of just want to do it just to say I did it. But anyways, Executioner here for that Archer Queen. We'll go for something like this. We'll go with the recruits here as well. That should protect our Executioner as well as deal with the E-Barbs on that side. We're going to arrows this down. I gave up my E-Spirit, else I would have loved to get King Tower activation off the backs of that Firecracker, but all in all, I will take that. So it's going to be an interesting E-Barbs with the Archer Queen and with Firecracker. So we can probably just go with the Skeleton Barrel here, just cycle that just to get as many evil Skeleton Barrels as possible. It's really solid. If you guys don't have the Skeleton Barrel or the Evil Skeleton Barrel, the regular Skeleton Barrel by itself is also a pretty solid option by itself. Let's go E-Spirit here. That should buy us a little bit of time. We're gonna go Mini P.E.K.K.A. That's gonna help. And unfortunately, our Executioner just walks straight into that. We don't get a hit off, but we can definitely just drop something like Lightning. Yeah, we're going to do that right here and force him to pop that ability first. That's totally fine if he wants to give us King Tower activation. We're going to have just enough elixir to kind of get that. But that Firecracker is going to be alive still. So it does get taken out by our Princess Tower. So I was really hoping we wouldn't get, any strays from the Firecracker shot, but all in all, not too bad. I will take it. I don't know what he's got, and there's my answer. He's going to have P.E.K.K.A. So in that case, I'm going to get my Executioner ready, and this should be pretty interesting here, depending on how he plays his E-Barbs. If he splits it, if he does something, kind of cute with it, but I'm gonna go recruits like this. Oh, he's got 3 musketeers too. What in the world? Okay, I'm gonna lightning this. I know he's got that archer queen we have to be wary of, but for the most part, I'm gonna go for the Evo skeleton barrel here. Keep that pressure up on that left side. Oh, he's going for it, so that's probably gonna be a mistake. I know he's got Valkyrie and all, but that's not gonna be enough because we're gonna take a boat, or we're gonna deal a boatload of damage. Let's go with the Ram Rider here. This should be fine. And yeah, we're gonna force him to pop that ability, so that's really nice. Let's go with the recruits here, and we should be fine for the most part. I know that firecracker is gonna be annoying, but we're gonna arrows that down. We're gonna go with the skeleton barrel here, and we're just gonna slowly chip away at our opponent, and we should be fine. So we're gonna go executioner here. Yeah, we took a hit, but that's not too bad. Let's go with the E-Spirit here. So that essentially is going to be in, I think, arrows and lightning range. So that's going to be really sweet. He had a really heavy deck, really wild. Obviously, drop your lightning always in a corner, just in case they wanted to block it. He definitely could have blocked it with the 3 musketeers, but I guess he didn't want to do that. Good game, well played. Let's get on to another. All right, next match here. So we have skeleton barrel in hand. We're going to start out with that. The only way this goes bad when you start out with skeleton barrel is if they've got tornado, but if they don't, you're going to be sitting pretty. So he's going to have log bait of sorts, I think. I'm going to go for the executioner here. That should take the damage, and we'll be fine. I don't want to give up my recruits too early in case he's got something crazy. Also don't want to give up something like my arrows, because if he's got log bait, I really would rather have that there. I'm going to go mini P.E.K.K.A here, and we should be fine the rest of the way. I'm going to just arrows this down. So obviously I would love to save my E-Spirit for something like that, just kind of moving forward. So since he doesn't have the Skeleton King, we should be fine to do this. I don't want to give him too many souls too easily, but obviously we'll work with what we got. Let's go Skeleton Barrel here. Unfortunately, again, our arrow's just out of sync, so we are just a little bit out of sync right now. Totally fine though. We're going to get a log out of him, and we might even get a stab. Dark Goblin really puts in some crazy work. Let's go with the Evil Executioner. Should hit the Dark Goblin in the back there, kind of clean things up. So obviously this is not going to work out too well. I'm going to go mini P.E.K.K.A here because he really only has Gang and Skeleton King so far, and neither of that's going to work too well. He's going to have to play it like that, which I guess makes sense. But he's not going to have that for a counter push. So that actually worked out somewhat well, I would say. Just so we can get that Skeleton King out of him and we don't have to worry about it. So sending the Ram Rider is just kind of going straight into a Tesla. But it is what it is. I'll take that -1 elixir trade just to get things rolling. Or he can play his Dark Goblin way too close. And my Ram Rider is going to kind of help clean things up. Really nice there. I'm going to go for the E-Spirit here. But essentially, I'm just going to go and arrows it down like this. And that is the timing to kind of minimize the amount of damage that you will take. Obviously, we both have the evil skeleton barrel, so we're gonna have to work with that. But we almost get a connection to the tower due to the Skeleton King, which would have been really nice. Obviously, didn't work out exactly as we'd hoped, but all in all, not too bad. We cleaned that up. Let's go Dark Goblin here, or arrows for that Dark Goblin. A little bit aggressive. But we'll see what we can do here. He might have that skeleton barrel coming up, so obviously I'm just going to go for something like the recruits here. We'll take some damage, but all in all, we should be okay. We'll take some damage, that's fine, you know, is what it is. But I'm going to hopefully be able to counter here. And then maybe send the arrows like this. Should be able to clean that up. And okay, we're gonna get a log out of him, which is pretty solid. Let's go with the Evil Executioner here. And this should be fine. I'm gonna go with the E-Spirit. Should be able to kind of clean all of that stuff up anyways. And obviously I'm gonna try to keep our Executioner alive, but this time I'm going to split, I'm going to change lanes. So he's gonna go with arrows, or he's gonna go with the log, which means our Goblin Barrel or the Skeleton Barrel should do okay. We get some damage on that right side, which is kind of the benefit of playing with a little bit of split lane pressure. We'll go Mini P.E.K.K.A here. I know he might just pop that ability, which would make sense. Executioner here should be fine. Start cleaning up the first round that kind of drops. But yeah, look at that timing, just absolutely pristine. I'm gonna arrows this down because that's a lot of skeletons for us to deal with. Skeleton Barrel here, he's playing this pretty well. I'm just gonna go ahead and, oh, we get an Executioner Axe Throw, which is really, really nice there. I'm obviously gonna go for a Executioner here as well. Hopefully clean up that Skeleton Barrel first. And yeah, he's getting some chip damage, but that's fine, I think. I'm gonna go and lightning this. And all we have to do is maybe get to 2 arrows. So that is probably easier said than done, but we're gonna try for it right here. And that should be fine. I think we're gonna go for a lightning, and I think we're gonna get out of this with the W. Really, really solid stuff against another evil Skeleton Barrel. Really solid stuff, as you can see, you know, even though we have the Mini P.E.K.K.A version, it's pretty useful against that Skeleton King. Good game, well played. Let's get on to another. All right, next match here. Keeping things going, and our opponent's gonna start out with the Hog Rider just straight out. Obviously would love to go for Executioner there to get closer to that evil Executioner, but we'll go over the arrows here, take out that Firecracker. Seems to be rinse and repeat a lot of times for something like this, but you know, different matchups, and he's got Bomb Tower in this case, so hopefully we can start damaging that down, and that way we can send our Skeleton Barrel and see what he's got for this. You know, he's obviously got some sort of light spell, but even if not, we can send our Ram Rider in afterwards to help counter his Hog Rider. So we're gonna do that. Ideally, probably should have placed it a little bit further back, but we still are able to manage to minimize all damage there. We're going to go with their E-Spear here after the fact, in case he wants to go for something like the 1 Elixir Skeletons, just make him wait an extra second so we can lock onto that Knight. So I think for the most part, we should be able to ignore this, but eventually I do want to play that Executioner, and the Knight's not going to, I don't think it's going to, oh, it does hit our tower. Just barely, but that's fine. Let's go with the Executioner here. I feel like most of the time they're rocking Earthquake, so not Lightning, not Rocket, Poison, whatever it may be. Let's go Recruits up high, block that Firecracker. He played that way too early, so it actually worked out big time for us. He's gonna go Delivery there, which means he's trying to preserve his Bomb Tower, which makes sense. Let's go Ram Rider here again. Hopefully damage that down a decent amount. Hog Rider looks like it will still get 2 hits, but he did give up his Bomb Tower or his Log. So I'm going to go Skeleton Barrel here and see what he's got for this, because he doesn't have Bomb Tower, he doesn't have that. He's just going to drop a Knight and mistime it, so that's going to work out big time for us. I'm going to go for just a Psycho and E-Spirit here, and then I'm going to go for an Executioner. And let's see what he does. Oh, he's just going to get ready for defense. Okay, that's fine. That works out. Let's go for Recruits up high. Oh, I think he timed that a lot better this time. We're going to take that out, though. And well played enough on his end, I guess. Ooh, we just barely missed that Bomb Tower. It's not going to matter, though, because he's going to have another one. I think that should be enough. And we're going to be able to send another one or force out both his spells, which is going to be great. And now he doesn't have Firecracker for his next Hog Rider push, but he does have that, so that is something to keep in mind for us, I guess. Totally fine, is what it is. He is going to get 2 hits, and he's playing this pretty aggressively, I would say. But the Bomb Tower gets taken out too soon for him. Mini P.E.K.K.A is going to get that shot off, and that right there is going to clean things up for us. Good game, well played. Let's get on to another. All right, next match here. Keeping things going. Starting out with Skeleton Barrel right here, pretty safe. I'm going to go Ram Rider as well, since he goes for the Lava Hound like that. And Skeleton Barrel is essentially taking for the Ram Rider. I know that's going to break the charge, but I'm going to take the damage from the guards, I think, unless I can get the E-Spirit down. See what he's got. I'm going to go for the E-Spirit now. We have arrows, so I'm not too worried about, you know, something crazy, unless it's something like that. I'm going to go for lightning here because I think that makes sense. And that should minimize the amount of damage from the balloon to just one hit. It's good enough for now. We didn't really have the hand we needed to start. He's going to go pretty aggressive. So I'm going to go with the skeleton barrel here immediately. See what he's got. He's got to have some sort of light spell, maybe another zap, or Valkyrie. So this is the version of Lava Hound that I'll probably struggle with a bit more. Barbarrel is not as bad, or the Barbarians is not as bad. Just kind of because, like, you know, we do have a bit of swarm aspect in this deck. So anyways, we'll take that damage there, and we'll get another push here, kind of geared up and ready on the backs of the recruits. And I think Valkyrie, it should be buried enough in his deck where it shouldn't be a problem. We'll send the Mini P.E.K.K.A. as well. One of the benefits of rocking Mini P.E.K.K.A. instead of Bomber in this is that, you know, you're able to get pretty good value if they don't have anything great. So let's do this here. That should be able to clean up the guards. He didn't know we have Mini P.E.K.K.A., so we might be able to clean up that Valkyrie and get extra value as well. Just overall, a really solid thing there. I'm going to go with the skeleton barrel afterwards, just to kind of kite that back. I knew he's not going to have enough things for ground defense, so I was able to take big time advantage of that. So I'm just going to wait as those things kind of cross, and I'll go Ram Rider here. Minimize the amount of damage, of course. And we have Executioner here and ready. So I'm going to drop that. We have Lightning. Lightning and arrows doesn't take out the balloon, just to keep in mind. But, you know, we do have Lightning, we do have E-Spirit and the arrows, so that might work out. I'm just going to go ahead and Lightning this. Take out that Valkyrie because that one's really going to be the problem for us. Obviously, I'm going to go for the E-Spirit here. I'm going to go Ram Rider as well. Kind of just arrows all of that down, including, you know, slowing down the balloon, hopefully. I think the balloon will get a hit, unfortunately. So maybe shouldn't have defended that. But all in all, he's going to waste Fireball as well. So that's going to be pretty big for us. So his King Tower is down just to about the same health as his Princess Tower. So we should be fine going either way. And I'm totally fine going either way. All right, so I guess that makes sense. Let's go Skeleton Barrel here. Go Ram Rider as well. And we might be able to get something solid out of this. We're going to Lightning this. Kind of clean that up. And we have a Ram Rider on his tower. So that's going to work out pretty well for us. And obviously he doesn't have his... skeleton dragons anymore, so that's going to work out as well. We'll take some damage there. That's totally fine. I'm going to arrows this down, and we should be able to push that balloon back maybe once at least. Yeah, I mean, he tried to do that with the zap, but I kind of just let him do what he had to do there. But either way, he put everything on the table there. If he didn't break through, that right there is going to wrap things up for us. Good game, well played. I got about probably another couple hundred or a couple thousand, trophies to continue to push up to get to 15,000. But it should be pretty solid work here. Really enjoy using this deck. Let me know if you guys have tried this before. If you haven't, give this deck a shot. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe for more. And I'll see you next time.